Hello there, fellow summoners. MaddogHT here, and we are going into the last war of week 2, war number 6 of season 32. We've got Unstoppable Armor in play, and here's a little preview of my contribution. We're just doing a little bit of post-boss rush cleanup duty. And we'll talk about that, what that actually means, if you don't know what that means. But we're up against PΑLØ, La Casa de Palomos, and here is their defense. Because we've played them in the past. I'm trying to think if we played them in the last season. I'm trying to look at our history. I don't think we did, but I know we've played them somewhat recently. But yeah, we definitely need a win. We've gotten a couple losses in a row. We need to finish off the week with a win, otherwise we're going to lose 3 in a row. We got Ghost, Quake, and Herc banned. And yeah, first up, this is the week that Mastery swaps were free. So I am going to be optimizing throughout this whole week, War 6, 7, 8, to maximize my masteries for each match where necessary. So first we're going to put on Liquid Courage and Double Edge, and we're going up path 2. Has the Strike, Counter Fury, Power Struggle. We have a Yellowjacket, and Thing is just going to totally destroy this. We're going to ignore the Strike, Counter Fury, let him build up Furies, because we do have the Suicides on Liquid Courage, Double Edge. We are going to finish this fight well before he can even consider getting close to being in like meltdown phase. So we do trigger a heavy towards the start of the fight, so we can trigger protection on that poison while we don't have enough Furies on Yellowjacket to trigger the protection manually from each hit. There you go. You can see now he's got too many Furies to where every time he touches me and protection is not active, it's going to be activated. Generally, I think we're going to block a good number of special ones. You know, if it feels right, we'll dex it, but there really isn't any need to put that risk in there. We do not want to get stung and passively stunned. Now we just need to bait out a special. He is not throwing. I thought about just going for this because he would get stunned and we probably would have just been able to kill him off, but yeah, we just kept going because we did have 20 rock stacks. We did have 2 parts of power. Probably would have been enough, but it's just going to be safe. Better safe than sorry. 53 hits. We're going to move on. Next up, we got another Strike, Counter Fury, Brute Force, Power Focus 1. I took this same matchup, I think, first war, second war of the season. Node 14. And we're going to be parrying and building up his light energy on purpose, because we do want to get those rock stacks built up so that we can trigger protection when we do build up his fury. So there we got 10. It goes on a little timer, and then we're going to do 4 hit combos, hard block, and after that timer expires, it's gone. You know, if you would have thrown a special one, we would have gotten Delirium, reverse controls, not the biggest deal. And then from here on out, we're not going to parry him. We are just going to get hit, you know, 1 hit into the block. He does have enough Furies now to trigger that protection. We are going to take a little bit more damage just because we're not going to be at 20 rock stacks, but nothing too crazy. And we finish him off with a quick combo, and that was just really quick. The Liquid Courage Double Edge helps a lot. Only 39 hits, no specials. So thing is hitting really hard. Now this is the main reason why I put the suicides on simply because of this fight. I want this fight to go as quickly as possible. We do have a White Mag's guidance pre-fight on this. ManThing is an unstoppable armor champ. And with the static, or not the static defense, the hit me, I dare you, every 10 hits, that little blue fist icon, he will get a armor up and have a chance to go passively unstoppable, which makes him stun immune. So even if he's stunned passively, he'll shrug that off and he can immediately hit you. So we're just going to try to do our best to manage the Mystic Dispersion, which is actually pretty high on this one. We got to make sure that we don't get too many Pustules on us, because if he hits into our block or anything, he can't nullify them because thing is nullify immune. But as they expire, that will trigger the Mystic Dispersion. So, and then every time he touches us from pretty much now on out, because he has so many of those Furies from the strike counter that we've ignored, we trigger protection. So far so good. We're trying to manage watching the armor ups. Now that one we were a little careless on. We did a full 5-hit combo into that 10th hit, and yeah, he got passively unstoppable, but he did not retaliate and attack us. We do have an invuln boost on. We have that green 8% science boost on just in case it gets a little sketchy towards the end and we need to throw like a big special. We'll throw that, and hopefully that will help put us over the top to finish him off. Had to be a little bit patient there. Look, we got 3 of those Pustules up, so we got to watch the power gain as those fall off, because it's going to start to shoot up. And yeah, those armor ups from the every 10th hit or the every 10 seconds is quite annoying. There's really not like a foolproof way to get around it, because even with the passive stuns, you can see like right there, it triggered the unstoppable. I'm like, we're at 12%. This should be enough. We're at the max 60 Furies with suicides. I'm not exactly sure what the cutoff would be for me throwing that, but around, I've been throwing it 12, 10, 10% or whatever, and it's plenty. Could I go 20? I don't know about that, but yeah, we get the solo again, and then we're going to adjust our masteries. And for this one, I'm going to put on what is it? Collar Tech? Yeah, Collar Tech. We're going to put on Collar Tech to help minimize the power gain that Apoc will get when I'm hitting him with Nebula. But first, we're going to go over, hit up this Sasquatch. Because we're waiting for the boss to go down, I'm going to use up a bunch of my energy and then just back up and use the undo last move button, and then move over to my path. And that's just going to allow the guys that are going up that right side up to the boss island to get there quicker, and get more fights on more boosts. So the war boss has been cleared, which was a Gladiator Hulk. I don't have the footage of that, unfortunately. We didn't get that saved off. We soloed that with a Magneto. And we're going on node 24, Aspect of Evolution, EMP Modification, Burden My Bubble Shield. So we do still have Liquid Courage and Double Edge Suicides on, just for extra damage. Nebula, pretty simple fight here. We actually want to trigger Dex as much as possible, because that is going to trigger EMP from the node and will transfer over and equate into more shock charge buildup. But Yeah, and then once we get to 7 charges, we need to, or not 7, but 8, 9, or 10, we need to make sure that if he throws a special that we don't ever get to 8, because if we get to 8, 9, or 10 and he throws a special, we have to fully evade those parts, otherwise we can get tagged. So there we're at 7, we could block all 3 of those beams. We make sure we get a dex off because that next hit is going to be fully unblockable with that bubble shield. And then you can see all those charges that we got, and Apoc goes down. Lost some health, but part of that was due to suicides with what was like 1 or 2 special ones. But yeah, it's pretty simple, straightforward fight. Lots of shock damage to take down Apocalypse. And then we have this Nimrod on Vigor and Outlast. We're going on this with Torch, Pre-Fight, Flame On, and the global again is down, so this is not an unstoppable armor fight, even though it kind of shows that on the icon going in. We do go and adjust our mastery because we got to take off the suicides. We don't want that bleed and the poison on us. Granted, we could still do the fight. It goes super fast, but there's no reason to take that extra damage, and the damage that we do get is plenty. I think you just saw there I did put some of like the Science Serum on. I think I only have 1 of those unlocked, but again, we're adjusting our masteries to just cater for these next few fights, since the mastery swaps are free for this week. And we put on a Power Start 1 boost for this one, and we're gonna get to a special 2, and then this guy's gonna be done. So all of Nimrod's hits are energy, so every time he touches us, we build up temperature and a smolder. And if he throws a special one, we will just block that to build up smolder and temperature. There we throw off the special 2, stuns him. We're gonna get off a few more combo. He throws a special, and by the time the animation is done, he has melted in full. So pretty simple, straightforward fight there. Now if he had unstoppable armor in there, we'll have to be a little bit more patient, but not a big deal. And then next up we have a white Magneto House of X, and we're just gonna use Human Torch again. It has Buffet and Indomitable. We can't reverse the regen from Buffet, but we can prevent it with the Incinerates. And we still have that Power Start 1 active, and we're just gonna kind of a little slow play. We get off a heavy to get some full temperature, and we're doing shorter combos just to make sure that we can get to a special 2 before he gets to a special 2. We do have Max Petrify on. Because we do have Thing on the team, that special 2 does trigger a Fury buff, which triggers the Buffet, but because we had enough Incinerates on, he doesn't heal. And then before you know it, Torch melts White Magneto. All of his hits were energy, so hard to lose that fight. And then last up, we have this Black Panther Civil War. This was pretty much the main reason why we waited for the boss to go down to fit with our plan. We put a White Magneto Guidance on this fight, and Thing can just go to town on this. I can parry and hit all I want. He can't evade and counter the passive stuns. He can only do that with active stun debuffs when he has armor ups. So you're gonna see he's gonna start to get armor ups, no problem. We can still do specials, we can still parry and hit him. We don't have to worry about any retaliation. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We still have that Power Start 1 boost active. We are managing our strike counter so that we can not get any of those suppressions on us. I think at some point we will get some on us, but we aren't going to heavy while he's stunned. I'm not entirely certain if he can counter that, but I think he can. I think he can counter heavies even under a passive stun. So we're just gonna keep spamming the special one as pretty much as soon as we get it. We got our first suppression on. We're almost at max furies, and this fight's almost over. So it's a very simple fight without the global. Now, if the global was in play, then he's going to be like passively unstoppable and stun immune the whole fight, and it can just, you know, get a little bit more ugly. And I didn't want to get any of that like reflection damage put back. The fact that he goes stun immune isn't the worst thing, but just randomly going unstoppable because you're getting armor ups, then, you know, it can be a pain in the butt. But yeah, that is it for the war. Again, we had a Magneto takeout. Dems took out the Gladiator Hulk, which was a really simple fight. You can counter his heavy with Magneto's heavy. One special 3 did him under. But as you can see, our battle group did not execute well. We died 5 times, they died twice. And, you know, that was pretty much the big difference in the war. We lost 8-13. Good job to PΑLØ. They came out the victors, and we lost again. So we lost all 3 wars this week. And here's the stats for this war for me: 7 fights, 7 kills, no deaths. On the season, 36 fights, 36 kills, and I'm still deathless, which is great. But yeah, we lost again. So three wars this week, 3 losses. We dropped 2 spots to platinum, number 7 in platinum 1. And yeah, not a good week, not a good war week at all. Yeah, and again, good job to PΑLØ for taking care of business. And then as far as like items for this war, it's pretty light. Couple of sets of, you know, green, yellow, and red boosts. Couple smaller class boosts, and a handful of the 3-minute boosts. And then we added 2 fights to Torch. He's up to 10. And then another 4 fights for Thing, 15, and added 1 to Nebula. So we're actually getting to use a lot of Thing and Torch this season because we're not seeing those bans compared to last season when we had High Ground, which I am all for. And yeah, I think we're getting a good solid mix of action. And these next couple wars, I'm going to have a little bit different assignments and even some boss duties. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this helps give you a few ideas on how to counter a few things. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.